boys and girls, and welcome to your online class of biology. Students, in the last class we had discussed about spermatogenesis, and our today's topic of discussion is oogenesis. The process of oogenesis is a bit complex in comparison to the process of spermatogenesis. Unlike spermatogenesis, the process of oogenesis initiates during embryonic development. In the last class, when we were discussing about the spermatogenesis process, you have already seen that the process starts at puberty due to the increased level of gonadotropin releasing hormone. But in case of oogenesis, and this is something different, it starts during the embryonic development, that is when the fetus is still developing in the mother's uterus. At that time, the oogenesis process starts, and around a couple million of oogonia are formed within each ovary. That is, both the ovaries, human females have 2 ovaries, and both the ovaries contain a million oogonia. As you know that oogonia is the primary germ cell which later gives rise to the ova, which is the female gamete, by the process of oogenesis. So let's see the process, that how it goes. So first of all, during the embryonic development, like during the fetal development, the oogonia, the primary germ cell, it undergoes the first mitotic division. That is same as like the spermatogenesis process. There the spermatogonia underwent the mitosis process. Here the oogonia, it undergoes the mitosis process and forms the primary oocytes. Okay. So these primary oocytes, after they are formed from the oogonia, they are diploid cells, that is they have 46 number of chromosomes. Then they enter meiosis I process. The primary oocytes, after being formed from the oogonia, they enter the meiosis I process and get arrested at the prophase I temporarily. You already have studied about these cell divisions in class 11, as I have mentioned earlier also. In prophase I, they basically get arrested in the diplotin stage. Okay, so remember it every time, that when the primary oocytes, they enter the meiosis I division and they get arrested at prophase I. In prophase I, there are 5 stages in which the primary oocytes gets arrested in the diplotin stage of the prophase I for some time. Now, during the time at which the primary oocyte is arrested, at that time some granulosa cells start surrounding the primary oocyte and convert it into primary follicle. What I said is that when the primary oocyte stop the division, that is when they are not undergoing any division, at that time some granulosa cells, they start covering the primary oocyte from the outside externally and convert it to primary follicle. Okay. Now these primary follicle, when they are formed, at that time it is already the puberty of the female. That is, the oogonia starts dividing the mitosis process during the fetal development. Then it forms the primary oocytes, and then it forms the primary follicle. By the time these 3 steps are completed, already the baby girl has been born and it reaches the stage of puberty. Now when the primary follicle is formed, when the girl reaches the stage of puberty, at that time many follicles are degenerated. That is, at the time of fetal development, there were millions of oogonia, millions of primary oocytes were formed. But when they reach puberty, at that time many of them start degenerating, they get destroyed, and only around 60,000 to 80,000 follicles are present or found in the ovaries of female. That is, only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are found. Now this primary follicle then convert to secondary follicle at puberty. After reaching the puberty, this primary follicles, they again start getting converted into secondary follicle by addition of more granulosa cells on their surrounding. Now these secondary follicle then transforms into tertiary follicle. let me tell you one thing, this conversion of primary follicle to secondary follicle and then conversion of secondary follicle to tertiary follicle is a rapid process, and that all these processes occurs during the puberty. So secondary follicle transforms into tertiary follicle. Now this tertiary follicle has a fluid filled cavity, a fluid filled center which is known as antrum, and the deposition of the granulosa cells on the external surface of the follicle is divided into two layers, that is the inner theca layer and the outer theca layer. Now when this secondary follicle completes the conversion to the tertiary follicle, by that time it completes the meiosis 1 process. So let me tell you one thing, that the process which was arrested in here, that is during the second stage when the primary oocytes were formed, this process starts somewhere when the primary follicles were getting converted into secondary follicle, that is at the puberty stage. At puberty stage this meiosis process again gets started, and by the time this secondary follicle converts into the tertiary follicle, when the tertiary follicle is formed, the meiosis 1 process is completed. Now it is found that in human females this meiosis process is unequal division. Okay, after the completion of the meiosis 1, there are two daughter cells formed, out of which one is the secondary oocyte and second is the first polar body. The first polar body is a pea-shaped very small cell which gets formed after the completion of the meiosis 1 process, and the function of this polar body, or you can say the fate of the polar body, whether it is present in the ovary or it gets destroyed after the formation, is still not known. Now this secondary oocyte or the tertiary follicle, after it is formed, initiates the meiosis 2 process. Now when the meiosis 2 process is going on inside, the tertiary follicle changes into mature Graafian follicle. Now these Graafian follicles forms a strong layer surrounding it which is known as zona pellucida. Let me tell you one thing here, that this zona pellucida is actually responsible for stopping or blocking the entry of more than one sperms during the fertilization process. That's why the zona pellucida is very important, or formation of the zona pellucida is very important. So when the tertiary follicle converts into Graafian follicle by the formation of zona pellucida, at that time internally the follicle already completes the meiosis 2 process. Again after the formation, or you can say again after the completion of the meiosis 2 process, a mature secondary oocyte or ova is formed and a second polar body is formed. Again the fate of the second polar body is still not known, that whether it is destroyed or it still remains in the ova or ovary, but the secondary oocyte or the ova is released by the process of ovulation. Okay, so this was the entire process of the oogenesis. This is quite complex. Let's get a short revision again. The oogenesis starts with oogonia, which is the primary germ cell. This oogonia during the embryonic development undergoes the first mitotic division, mitosis, and forms the primary oocytes. These primary oocytes, they enter the meiosis 1 process and gets arrested in the diplotin stage of prophase 1 for some time. After it gets arrested, the primary oocyte converts to primary follicle. By the time the primary follicle is formed, already it is the puberty stage of that female. During this time, a lot of follicles degenerate and only 60 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in the ovaries. Then this primary follicle change into or convert into secondary follicle by addition of more granulosa cells. This secondary follicle then transforms into the tertiary follicle, which has a fluid filled cavity which is known as the antrum, and the outer granulosa layer is divided into two, that is the inner theca layer and the outer theca layer. By the time the tertiary follicle is formed, the meiosis 1 is completed, which was temporarily arrested. After the completion of the meiosis 1, The first which is obtained is the secondary oocyte and first polar body. Always remember that here I am telling is secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte is tertiary follicle. Please don't get confused with the secondary follicle and secondary oocyte. Follicle is the overall ova, and secondary oocyte is actually the gamete which is present within the follicle. Okay, so the gamete along with its covering is known as the follicle. So secondary oocyte is actually the tertiary follicle. This tertiary follicle then initiates the meiosis II. When the meiosis II gets completed, by that time the tertiary follicle gets converted into Graafian follicle by forming the zona pellucida layer. And finally, the mature secondary oocyte or ova is released by the process of ovulation from the Graafian follicle, and a second polar body is formed within it. And with this, the oogenesis process gets completed. To make this process more clear, you can refer to this picture. As you can see, this is a diagrammatic section of the view of ovary. Here you can see these are the primary oocytes. So these primary follicle are formed from the oogonia. This is the primary oocyte. This primary follicle gets converted into secondary oocyte. You can see the outer layer is much more thicker in comparison to the first one. So this is the secondary follicle. This secondary follicle then gets converted into tertiary follicle. In tertiary follicle, you can see the fluid filled cavity which is known as the antrum, and the outer layer is thicker. Then this tertiary follicle gets converted into Graafian follicle. This Graafian follicle is bigger inside. It is a mature follicle and it contains an extra layer which is known as zona pellucida. And finally, this ova is released from the Graafian follicle by the process of ovulation. Okay, so this was all about the oogenesis process. That's all for today. Thank you.